We're no strangers to busy roads here in Central Florida. I'm Stephanie Rodriguez reporting from Orlando, but you can expect traffic to be a lot heavier in the coming weeks as holiday travel begins. AAA is predicting 122.4 million Americans will travel at least 50 miles from home between December 20th and January 1st. That's up 2.2% from last year's record number. That includes an estimated 7.5 million Floridians who will be traveling for the holidays. The big majority will be traveling by car, with close to 200,000 more road trips this year than last year. And Orlando's roads could be especially crowded. According to AAA, the city is once again the top destination in the United States. AAA does have some tips for you if you're one of the millions planning to travel. Number one, plan ahead. Book your plane ticket, hotel room, and rental car as early as possible. Give yourself some extra time to reach your destination in case of delays, and try to consider potentially using travel insurance if you do plan to fly during winter weather. And when you're planning, prepare to see some higher prices. AAA data shows that domestic flights are up 7% compared to last year, and hotel stays are also costing Americans more this year. They're up 13%. But there is some relief if you're going to be hitting the roads. Gas prices are lower this year compared to last year. Reporting in Orlando, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
All right, so we want you to take a good look at this. We are now seeing the terrifying moments a plane crash landed, look at that, onto a car on I-95. Thankfully, everyone is okay. Hard to believe when you see that, though. This happened Monday near Cocoa. It's near in Brevard County. The pilot reported engine problems and tried to land on the highway. Instead, that's what happened. It landed on top of that Camry nearly. This is on State Road 520 and that exit. The 57-year-old woman who was driving the car had to go to the hospital, but we're told she is expected to be okay. The 27-year-old pilot and his 27-year-old passenger were not hurt in this, but we had this as breaking news, trying to figure out why there was a huge backup and then find out that this is why.
That is some
Gosh,
incredible
really
video.
is,
It is amazing that no one was seriously hurt in that. All right, we do want to take a live look now at stocks just after the closing bell. They surged this afternoon after the Federal Reserve cut the key interest rate, bringing it to its lowest level in more than 3 years. The Dow ended up about 500 points. The S&P ended up 0.67% on the day. The NASDAQ was also up on the day. The central bank dropped its benchmark lending rate by another quarter point to a range between 3.5% to 3.75%. The cut was made over objections from some Fed officials who believe a focus on the higher cost of living should be prioritized. The economy is still dealing with inflation and weak job growth. I spoke with CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger earlier today about what today's cut means for borrowers and savers. Our conversation coming up on News 6 at 5.
All right, time now to look at your forecast with meteorologist Jonathan Kagas. And Jonathan, it started out chilly today, but it's starting to warm up nicely right now.
It's amazing what the sun can do. Seriously, I mean, between standing in the shade or being stuck under the clouds, and then all of a sudden it's still in the mid 60s across most of Central Florida. But the sunshine, it feels great out there, even the December sun. 63 right now in DeLand. It is a little bit warmer. We saw the sunshine a little earlier in Titusville. We're at 77 right now. Cocoa Beach, we're hanging around 70 degrees. Holopah, we are at 73, though. Compare that to where we got the clouds out of here on the later side of the afternoon. We're at 58 in the Villages. So a wide range of temperatures tonight. And again, all because of how fast or how quick the clouds got out of here. Where you see that more the white, that's where the cloud cover is. We don't have much of it again across the Space Coast. We had the clearing again through the I-4 corridor. You see that thick film of white, though, northwest of I-4, we had those cooler temperatures. That's why we were on the cooler side, because we just did not get in on the sun right there. Gradually, we are going to get it back. And you see they have returned across parts of Central Florida again in this downtown Orlando Skycam view. That's a live look with our Light Orlando Delivering Hope Skycam. All of this, again, working out in terms of the forecast as we watch a cold front approach the area. Air temperatures now into the upper 60s. The breeze is out of the west. Overnight tonight, and by the time you wake up, that wind is going to shift out of the north and west, pumping in some of that cooler air behind the front. Tomorrow, it's seasonably cool. We're talking air temperatures into the upper 40s and lower 50s. That's where we've been for the past couple of mornings. We're at 52 in Mount Dora. The 40s come our way in Ocala and back into Denellen. Now here's a look at the afternoon.
Your forecast is sponsored by Renewal by Anderson.
So that front is working its way through. By 10 o'clock tonight, it's going to be closer to the Florida Panhandle toward the Big Bend, still hanging on to some clouds this evening. And then you see what happens. There's 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. The front works its way to our south, and then the clouds pretty much vanish, because this front, unlike the last one, going to deliver the drier air with it, give us a nice clean sweep. And then sunshine is dominant basically from tomorrow afternoon, some of us in the morning, all the way through the upcoming weekend, with high pressure sliding off our coast. You see that clockwise airflow? That's going to help to pump in some warmth. So it's also going to be a warmer weekend after a chilly end of the work week. High temperatures tomorrow fall back into the mid 60s, even with sunshine increasing and then staying dominant through the course of the afternoon. But a little bit of a roller coaster ride here as we close out the work week. Again, most of us on Friday morning start things out into the low to mid 40s. I think we're going to see a few upper 30s northwest of I-4. That's the chilly morning. Dominant sunshine again on Friday. We're back to the mid 70s though on Saturday, staying in the mid 70s on Sunday. Another cold front comes by early next week, but a fantastic weekend weather-wise coming both Saturday and Sunday, guys.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. How do you feel about your homeowners association?
Well, whether you love it or hate it, a lawmaker wants to give homeowners the option of getting rid of them. We'll show you how next. A live look now at downtown Orlando. This is from our Light Orlando Delivering Hope camera. You're watching News 6. We'll be right back.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Light Orlando, delivering hope together.
Well, this could stir up some controversy. A new bill would allow homeowners to get rid of their HOAs.
So here's how it would work. Under the bill, a homeowner who wants to terminate their HOA must provide the board a petition that includes signatures from at least 20% of voting members. The board must then hold a meeting within 60 days. 2/3 of total voters would be required to approve the termination plan. If the plan fails to get enough support, homeowners would have to then wait another 18 months before trying again. A South Florida Republican lawmaker filed the bill. In the past, he called HOAs a failed experiment. We would really like to know what you think about this, because a lot of people are talking about it.
Absolutely. Some people already sharing their opinions on clickorlando.com. Hunter says he agrees that HOAs function poorly, but he went on to say HOAs are responsible for long-term maintenance. He questioned if an HOA is dissolved, who handles long-term maintenance responsibilities. Another commenter said, HOA be gone. They also mentioned communities would still need their management companies. Yeah, I mean, they manage a lot of like private roads and
No, I get that. I understand.
community areas. Who's going to take over all that stuff? So you can share what you think. Post your comment at the bottom of this story on clickorlando.com. We often hear here in the news industry people complaining about their HOAs, but you kind of knew that when you bought your house, didn't you?
I don't know if some people knew to the degree that they could really be up in your business. And
well,
they really
here's
are.
your warning.
All right, you've probably seen them on TV, ads for Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins.
But he has not officially announced a run for governor. So who is putting up the money for these non-campaign ads? We get that answer next.
Neighbors aren't the only ones concerned about where a liquefied natural gas plant could be built. I'm your Merritt Island community correspondent, James Sparvero. I talked to Port Canaveral's CEO about an energy company's proposal to build that plant near a couple hundred homes. I'll tell you where this process stands now, coming up.
Welcome back. We are following several top stories right now.
The governor made a stop in Orlando to share his budget plans for next year. Part of it, a record $30 billion for public schools. Teacher pay increases and expanding charter schools are also part of the education budget. Meantime, Orange County Schools is considering closing several schools because of low enrollment from students choosing charter schools, private schools, and homeschool options. OCPS is thinking about shutting down 7 campuses. The district will take up the full consolidation plan during a work session on December 16th. Several parents plan to show up and speak about it. We're seeing this incredible video, terrifying moment. A plane crashed onto a car on I-95. It happened Monday. The pilot reported engine problems and tried to land on the highway, but instead it clipped the top of that car near State Road exit, 520 exit, I should say. This is in Brevard County. The woman who was driving had to go to the hospital, but she's expected to be okay. The 2 people on the plane were not hurt.
Not in my backyard, or in this case, not in my port. The energy companies that want to build a liquefied natural gas facility in Port Canaveral made their case before commissioners today. Here, Merritt Island community correspondent James Sparvero was there and continues his coverage by taking your concerns to the port meeting.
Gentlemen, excuse me. I'm James from Channel 6. Could I talk to you guys about the project? Outside the Port Canaveral Commission meeting, I was hoping to talk to Berkshire Hathaway and Chesapeake Utilities about their plan to build a liquefied natural gas plant near a couple hundred homes. I just had a couple questions about the presentations to address more of the community's concerns, but they weren't interested in being interviewed. The port owns the land here on the barge canal, so the companies would have to buy it if the port's willing to sell.
We're here today to discuss a very transformative opportunity for the Cape Canaveral region.
Representatives told commissioners they want to open the LNG plant for space and cruise customers by 2029. Vince Cipineri would live less than a mile away.
If it blows up, I have no idea what's going to happen to us.
They say their plant will be safe.
LNG fundamentally is a much safer and cleaner fuel than any of the traditional fuels that people may be thinking of. It'll be a net benefit for the community.
After the meeting, Port Canaveral CEO Captain John Murray told me neighbors aren't the only ones concerned about safety. Do you share some of the same concerns that the community has? Neighbors I've spoken to, one of which came here today and talked.
I'm in the blast zone. We wouldn't even get out.
Absolutely. I just spent some time with the neighbors, and any type of a project like this has a huge impact on people in our community, and it's important that everybody have their say.
After it reviews the proposal, the next update from the port on whether it might sell this land or not will come up at the commission meeting in January. Our coverage continues then. In Brevard County, I'm your Merritt Island community correspondent, James Sparvero, News 6.
Some good news for teachers along the coast. Teacher pay will be going up in Volusia County. Last night, the school board voted unanimously to give starting salaries a boost. Under the new deal, teachers will start with a base salary of $50,000. Staff will also get a 2% cost of living adjustment. Plus, teachers can earn up to $5,000 more based on their years with the district. Now, the agreement runs through 2027-28 school year. The Kroger Fulfillment Center in Groveland is closing in less than 2 months, and more than 900 employees could be out of work. Right now, CareerSource is hosting a job fair to connect workers with training and potential new employers. News 6's Mark Lehman shows us how this will help workers figure out their next move.
This event is offering up several different career pathways for each of the Kroger employees here. Organizers admit it's a unique and unfortunate situation with one of Lake County's largest employers suddenly leaving town, and that's why this job fair is being taken directly to this warehouse. For weeks, Kroger workers in Groveland have been facing uncertainty. With the fulfillment center less than 2 months from closing, unemployment is looming for more than 900.
It's impacting the income of the household, and that's why we wanted to jump in and work with Kroger immediately to make sure that we can get them something.
Janae Olds is with CareerSource Central Florida, which is hosting a job fair dedicated to Kroger's mass layoff. The 6-hour event is designed to help employees plot their next career path while still on the job.
Some of them may say, I don't want to do the same thing. I want to try something new. So we'll sit down with them, assess them, and see, hey, these are the options that we have, and we can help pay for the training for them.
More than 30 employers will be on hand today, along with 6 training providers. It's happening after Kroger agreed to reimburse Lake County $460,000 in incentive funds. The county is also reallocating some of this year's money towards CareerSource for a soft landing strategy for impacted workers.
So if they want to connect with us and help and get assistance in us finding them employment, we will help them until they secure that permanent job.
On top of the dozens of employers here today, scholarships are available for Kroger employees to pursue career programs at local colleges or trade schools. The job fair at this fulfillment center runs until 6 tonight. In Lake County, Mark Lehman, News 6.
People living in Orlando's District 3 will soon have a new person representing them on the city council. We're talking about the Rosemont, College Park, Audubon Park, and Baldwin Park neighborhoods. Local businessman Roger Chapin beat out Orlando's city grant manager Mira Tana by 200 votes in yesterday's runoff election. Chapin will take over for current Commissioner Robert Stewart, who is retiring after 20 years in office. Commissioner Stewart and Orlando Mayor Buddy Dyer both endorsed Chapin in the race. Turnout was around 23%. Roughly 7,500 people voted between early voting and Election Day. And Miami has a Democratic mayor for the first time in 30 years. She's also the first woman elected to that position. Last night, former Miami-Dade County Commissioner Eileen Higgins secured 59% of the vote in the runoff. She was running against former Miami City Manager Emilio Gonzalez. While the race was officially nonpartisan, Higgins had the backing of prominent Democrats. Republicans, including Governor DeSantis and President Trump, endorsed Gonzalez.
Tonight, history was made. Our city chose a new direction, right? So you chose competence over chaos, results over excuses, and a city government that finally works for you.
Her campaign centered on issues like immigration, housing, flooding, and city growth.
Well, you've probably seen this by now. For weeks, a series of ads have been running talking about what Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins has done for Florida. They look like campaign ads, but here's the thing. Collins isn't officially running for governor. News 6 anchor Justin Wormuth explains what's going on here.
I learned the ads aren't even from Collins, so I went to find out who is putting up the cash for these commercials.
Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins is standing with Governor DeSantis.
The 30-second ads have been everywhere, touting the accomplishments of Florida's newly appointed lieutenant governor.
Jay Collins stands strong for conservative values.
But Collins, who hasn't announced if he'll run for governor, isn't paying for the ads. Neither is any political group associated with him. Instead, Florida Fighters has paid more than $2.25 million to run the ads in Orlando, Tampa, and Palm Beach. So who is Florida Fighters? Well, for that answer, you need to leave the Sunshine State for the first state, Delaware. Turns out Florida Fighters is a 501c4 registered in early November in Delaware. 501c4s are considered social welfare organizations.
This is essentially a shell corporation that is putting this message out there, wants people to know about Jay Collins.
As UCF political science professor John Hanley notes, 501c4s are not required to publicly disclose the names or addresses of their donors, meaning we may never know who paid for these ads.
Florida Fighters is an anonymous tagline that provides the smallest amount of information about who this group is.
The Delaware LLC doesn't provide an address, but there is a phone number on the ad. The number leads to a voicemail for the office of the lieutenant governor. And while the ad with the number is empty when it comes to donor disclosure, the voicemail box for the number, as we found out, is full. Now, Collins has said he is strongly considering a run for governor in 2026. President Trump, meanwhile, has endorsed another Republican who has already joined the race, and that is Congressman Byron Donalds. Justin Wormuth, News 6.
New at 4, hundreds of environmental groups representing all 50 states are calling on Congress to support a national moratorium on AI data centers. Now, these facilities are basically large server farms used to power artificial intelligence and cloud computing, things you likely use every single day. But they require large amounts of electricity for power and water for cooling. The controversy surrounds who is footing the bill. Now, in their letter to Congress, the environmental groups say the expansion is increasing the demand for energy, driving more fossil fuel pollution, straining water resources, and raising electricity prices across the country. The groups are calling for a national moratorium until adequate regulations are put into place to protect communities, the environment, and more. Last week, Governor DeSantis proposed an AI Bill of Rights that includes shielding residents from hidden costs associated with these data centers. Florida has around 127 of them. We may be close to dinner time, but we know of a place you can go for dessert to end up staying for brunch.
Who doesn't love dessert for dinner?
Yes.
We're talking about this place. We'll be taking you to an Orlando gem, famous for its pastries and cakes, on the I-4 food tour. Plus,
some people say it's going to be noisy. We do have a small onboard stereo system, but it operates at respectable volumes.
Well, despite this plea for a small business owner, pedal pubs will not be coming to the coast. We'll explain why. Jonathan.
We have a visitor at
Oh
the
my
Port Camp.
gosh.
Check this guy out. He's hanging out with us tonight. Does Live Look, Port Canaveral. He is pretty. Live Look with our Launch Credit Union camera. We have some clouds in play. Dominant sunshine arrives tomorrow. We're going to have that forecast after the break. He's cool.
oh yeah, he's talking to you too. I think he's looking at the clouds to come up with
He's
his
like,
own
get
forecast.
out of here, clouds.
Oh my God, he's gonna pin it. Okay, and before we head to break, we want to remind you to check out our prime time schedule on News 6 Plus. We have a new take on the day's news on News 6 tonight. That's at 9. Go in depth as we answer your weather questions at 9:30, then watch the late news an hour early. It's all tonight on News 6 Plus. Download our streaming app for free. Search WKMG in your smart TV's app store. It's also available on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino.
She looks good. Today we're in an RV from Giant Recreation World, and I happen to have a sweet tooth. So we're going to the Glass Knife in Orlando. We are here at the Glass Knife in Winter Park, looking at the beautiful chocolate onyx. Chef Lauren here. Tell me about this thing.
So this is our chocolate onyx. This is our mousse-based pastry. And this is made with onyx coffee inside of the mousse, as well as a pastry cream coffee sphere that's in the center. We got some salted caramel in there as well.
No, this is not Willy Wonka's factory. This is the Glass Knife in Winter Park, famous for their sweets. And why wouldn't they be?
This is the point in this segment in which we cut to a slow motion slicing of the onyx. Play some sexy music.
Yeah.
3 days. 3 days of someone's hard-earned labor has gone into making this beautiful pastry. The chocolate onyx, let's give it a try. It's delicious. If you like chocolate and you like coffee, the marriage here is great. And there are all these little crispies on top. Look at the little crispies. They go deliciously with all of this. So that's where that coffee deliciousness is, right inside there. Oh yeah. Good little shortbread cookie on the bottom. If chocolate mousse and espresso had a baby, this would be the little toddler here, right here. You can't beat it. If you ever need a sugar high mixed with your caffeine rush, check out the Glass Knife. I'll be back very soon.
Sponsored by Giant Recreation World. Visit Giant Recreation World today.
All right, we missed a prime opportunity again. This is another look at our Launch Credit Union Port Camera, but our visitor.
Still pretty.
I know, we had some beaking news earlier. There was and we Googled it to try and figure out what was going on out there. What did they say it was, Jonathan?
It was a boat-tailed grackle.
Yes, but none of us is an ornithologist, which is the study of birds.
Yeah, I certainly am not.
Was that him, or is that something was flying way out there? I don't.
Maybe it's another one. Maybe it's its friend.
Seagull. It was beautiful. That was great.
False alarm. We're just excited about our grackle friend. If that's what it is. Hit us up if it's not. I know we have some bird experts out there because this is the place to be for sure for the birds to come to hang out. Here's a live look in downtown Orlando with our Let Orlando Delivering Hope Skycam. I mean, gorgeous views all around. No birds in this one, but the sunbeams coming down and the new 6 weather app stealing the show here. But that's a perfect opportunity to tell you to download it for free. You can track any kind of storms that are coming our way, and there's not much in terms of rain over the next 7 days, but a gorgeous shot here as the sun is going down. We have the clouds in play now. It's still a touch breezy. We get our sunshine back in dominant fashion once we get to tomorrow afternoon for everybody. Mid-60s right now at the airport. The breeze out of the west-northwest at about 10 miles an hour. Wind certainly out there. The breeze is still elevated a little bit, but it's a little bit calmer. We were talking about this yesterday than where it's been over the past couple of days. Still breezy along the coast. 18-mile-per-hour gust just reported in Titusville. Last check in Sanford, our gust was about 15 miles an hour. Temperature-wise, we're hanging into the mid-60s across most of Central Florida, where we saw sunshine along the Space Coast. We got into the mid to upper 70s today. The cooler air hanging back toward Atlanta, Charlotte, Nashville. That is some of the air that's going to spill down the Florida Peninsula overnight. And then really by tomorrow afternoon, that is going to keep our temperatures likely into the mid-60s. Surface map again showing the front where it's at, crossing the Atlanta metro area. You do see a few extra clouds developing along that front. So again, to the rest of the evening, I still think we're going to have some clouds in play. Much drier air and cooler air behind that going to take those clouds away. So here we go, close view if there's 4 o'clock on your Thursday morning. In and out of some clouds. A stray shower is going to be possible. This would be quick hitting. Most will not see a thing as the front comes through. This should be a dry frontal passage for the most part. There's 10 o'clock on your Thursday morning. We are breaking out in sunshine already in Palm Coast. DeLand, back into the villages, Bushnell, Apopka, still hanging on to a few clouds south and east of I-4, and then there we go. From this point on, from here, other than a few puffy clouds bubbling up with the heating of the day Friday, Saturday into Sunday, sunshine returns for us, and it's going to stick around as well. Tomorrow, we're back to the upper 40s in Ocala, 48 in Denellen, so seasonably cool tomorrow. The colder morning is going to be on Friday as that front clears. High temperatures tomorrow into the mid-60s, rain chances 0%, again, sunshine going on the increase. And then eventually temperatures going to go on the increase. Looking into the longer range, this is out to Christmas Eve now. A lot of warmth. I think it is going to be pretty warm, maybe even warmer than what it was in Thanksgiving, for Thanksgiving in Central Florida on Christmas Day. 71 on Friday, mid-70s on Saturday. Look at that weekend, guys. We're stuck in the clouds. We've earned the sunshine coming our way.
Yeah, we have.
Jonathan, thank you. Usually those slow-moving pedal pubs are popular in tourist cities, but it looks like they will not be coming to one Central Florida community.
Why leaders and neighbors along the coast are pushing back against the idea. That's next.
You will not be seeing a bunch of friends on a bike drinking and pedaling in one city along the coast. Last night, New Smyrna Beach city leaders voted against what's known as pedal pubs. We've been telling you about this here on News 6 at 4. The proposal known as Rolling Cheers would have let commercial mega cycles operate around town. City staff warned of traffic and noise concerns.
I'm a small business owner. I am not financially backed. I am not part of a franchise nor a chain. Some people say it's going to be noisy. We do have a small onboard stereo system, but it operates at respectable volumes, well below what you would hear from golf carts, boats, and outdoor patios.
My challenge is if we make an ordinance for you, it's an ordinance for everyone.
Several neighbors spoke out against the idea during last night's meeting. The majority of them were worried about who the bikes would draw in and how many similar businesses could follow. City commissioners decided the risks outweighed the benefits. Soon you could see drones in the sky.
Yeah, last summer we told you Walmart is expanding its drone delivery service to Florida. Last night, leaders in Claremont gave the chain the go-ahead to make some changes to its store on US 27 to better set up for those deliveries. That includes a taller fence and a shipping container that will act as the drone nest. The company says the store could be the first drone delivery hub in the state of Florida, promising some deliveries within just minutes, 30 minutes as a matter of fact. News 6's Stephanie Rodriguez asked shoppers what they think about it.
And they say it could come to your house in as little as half an hour. What do you think about that?
Half an hour? Wow. That is absolutely amazing. I thought it would take like a couple hours. At least it should get everybody in town, going, but let's see if they live up to that.
What's wrong with just paying someone to deliver it if you need it delivered? It's just more stuff that they're just taking jobs away from people and they're pushing it as, oh, convenience, convenience, convenience.
Well, Walmart will still have to comply with all FAA regulations. And as a station where we fly drones, there are a lot of rules and regulations you have to abide by. News 6 at 5 is next.
Anchor Matt Austin is in the newsroom with what's ahead.
We are almost 1 week into the latest state bear hunt, and the new policies are leaving some people with questions like how many have already been killed. A look at the policies that are delaying information and what both sides of that hunting issue are saying tonight. And the Fed has cut interest rates for the third straight time this year. We spoke to a financial expert about how that could impact your wallet. And your forecast is only minutes away. Don't forget, you can stream all of our newscasts and live cameras like this look at beautiful Daytona Beach for free anytime on News 6 Plus. We'll be right back. Right now at 5, the governor announcing his proposed budget, the impact it could have on your child's school. Plus, calls for transparency, how the changes to the state's bear hunt have many people asking questions.
Sanford's airport is a boomtown, and we're getting an inside look at what's being built here.
You're watching News 6 at 5. Well, as schools across Central Florida close and consolidate, the governor was in Orlando today to roll out his proposed budget.
Part of it, a record $30 billion for grade schools, but that money comes as concerns mount about where that money is ending up.
Your Orlando community correspondent Mike Valenti was there when the governor rolled out his proposals. He joins us live outside Edgewater High School. So, Mike, you asked the governor about what's happening in public education.
Yeah, Matt, I did. Good evening. And as you guys said, public school districts throughout the state, they're grappling with declining enrollment and consolidation. Now, the governor's proposal for the next fiscal year would represent a record in funding for the K-12 public school system, a system that some warn is being pushed right now to the edge.
Oh, no. Please sit down. Please sit down.
Governor Ron DeSantis Wednesday characterizing his budget proposal as one that puts Floridians first, a sentiment echoed by his education commissioner.
We're going to prioritize students, we're going to prioritize teacher pay, and we're going to make sure we have a world-class education system.
DeSantis and Anastasios Kamoutsas touting the $1.56 billion the budget proposes for teacher pay increases. And they also reaffirmed their commitment to expanding charter schools in the state. Kamoutsas announcing the budget would include $20 million for Schools of Hope, program allowing charter schools to move into public schools rent-free, a $14 million increase from last year.
So Schools of Hope, this is not we're going to go into Windermere and do a school, or we're going to go into Palm Beach and do a school. They are going to the toughest areas that we have, where a lot of people have given up on some of these students.
I asked the governor if there would be any specific funding in his new budget allocated to help those public schools subsidize the Schools of Hope.
It's vacant buildings, right? So if they want to sell a building, they can sell a building. I mean, it's not going to be a fiscal drain on them.
So to be clear, contrary to what you just heard from the governor, it's not just vacant public schools that would be hosting these Schools of Hope. It's also underused schools. That's written right there explicitly in the statute if you look at the language pertaining to the Schools of Hope law. The school behind me, Edgewater High, now is not one of those schools being looked at, but there are several such schools in the district, and right now Orange County school officials are bracing those schools for what may come next. We're live in College Park tonight. I'm your Orlando community correspondent, Mike Valenti, News 6.
It is a fascinating issue, Mike. Thank you. And speaking of schools, Orange County is considering closing 7 campuses. News 6 community correspondent Angie Casada spoke with frustrated parents about the closures and the impacts it will have on the community. Her story is coming up in the next half hour at 5:30.
Now at 5 in Orange County, we've learned the state attorney's office is reviewing the actions of one of its own after what it calls an oversight in a plea in an attempted sexual battery case. 26-year-old Tyler Fate is accused of attacking a jogger near College Park in April. Late last month, he pleaded no contest to a battery charge. He was sentenced to 3 years probation and given credit for the more than 200 days he spent in jail. But according to a statement from the state attorney's office, the decision to hold off on a formal conviction was, quote, an oversight by the prosecutor. Assistant State Attorney Zachary Cole. The office says it will review the decision and take, quote, appropriate personnel action. In addition to his 3 years of probation, Fate must undergo a psychosexual evaluation and treatment. He also cannot have any contact with the victim and cannot come within a 3-block radius of where the incident happened. We are digging into the state attorney's office statement and what it could mean. We'll have updates for you coming up on clickorlando.com and tonight at 11. Tonight in Flagler County, a jury just found a former paramedic guilty of sexually battering a patient. Prosecutors say James Mulady carried out the crime on an unconscious woman in the back of an ambulance in 2021. He was also charged with video voyeurism in this case, but the jury found him not guilty on that charge. We'll let you know when he's sentenced.
All right, take a good look at this. We're now seeing the terrifying moment a plane crashes right onto a car on I-95. Now, thankfully, And incredibly, everybody's okay. Happened Monday near Cocoa in the area of Brevard County there. The pilot reported engine problems, tried to land on the highway, instead landed right on top of a Camry near State Road 520 exit. The 57-year-old woman who was driving had to go to the hospital. She is expected to be okay. The 27-year-old pilot and his passenger were not hurt. Coming up at 6, News 6 community correspondent Jana Manohalal spoke to a witness who saw the entire crash.
Taking a live look at our Launch Credit Union Port Cam at Port Canaveral, where another chilly night may be in store across Central Florida.
Yeah, it looks pretty pleasant out there, like a Bob Ross painting. Meteorologist
It does.
Jonathan Kegas has a first look at the forecast. Jonathan?
Yeah, some happy clouds, but
Yes,
I think we need some sunshine back in here, right? It's been a while since we've seen wall-to-wall sunshine from start to finish. I think we get that back in a really big way going forward as we move into the tomorrow, really, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then even into early next work week. We're at 64 in Pensacola, 62 in Jacksonville. You can see where the front is, though, back up toward Atlanta, dropping into the upper 50s, upper 40s in Nashville. That's some of the cooler, drier air that's going to punch in behind our second cold front. This one has a little more bite to it. I think Friday morning is the colder morning, and this one also has the dry air to get rid of the clouds that have been stubborn over the last few days. There's the front again, slicing through Atlanta. Again, it's going to be cool tonight, but seasonably cool. Back to the mid-50s by 9 as we're in and out of a few clouds, staying in the upper 40s and lower 50s when you wake up tomorrow. We'll have the chill settling in for your Friday forecast coming up at about 5:17.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. 4 days into the controversial bear hunt, and the state still has not said how many bears have been killed. News 6's Emily McLeod joins us now live. And Emily, back in 2015, the last time Florida held a bear hunt, it had to be stopped after just 48 hours.
Yeah, in 2015, the state issued thousands of permits, and the hunt had to stop because 300 bears were killed in just 2 days. Now this year, 172 permits have been issued, but it's only one bear per permit. Now, however, FWC hasn't posted, as far as we can tell, any real-time information on the number of bears that have been harvested so far, if any. When we did ask them about this, they told us we needed to file a formal records request. Now, part of the reason why we may not be hearing anything right away is because the bear hunt is being run a little differently this year. In 2015, hunters needed to bring their takings to public FWC check-in stations to be registered and weighed. This year, hunters have 24 hours after their hunt to report their harvest to FWC and to arrange a time and location to meet and go over their kill. According to FWC's website, the state decided to do it like this because it's more efficient. Before the bear hunt started, a lot of controversy surrounded this bear hunt, as I'm sure we all remember. We came by the Seminole Wekiva Trail to talk to people about the bear hunt. Some say they would like to see the numbers, while others say they don't want to know.
I myself don't want to know, but I guess there are people out there that are interested in this type of thing, and they're probably wanting to know what the numbers are at this point. But I think even one is too many, in my opinion.
They should release them every day and tell us what is going on, how many bears have been killed and where, and all of that. They should release the information.
We've submitted a records request to FWC to try and figure out how many bears, if any, have been killed during this hunt. We also requested a statement from FWC about where the bear hunt currently stands and why the agency is not providing more real-time updates on those numbers. We're still waiting to hear back. Now, the bear hunt started on December 6th and is expected to run until December 28th. As soon as we get any new additionals from FWC, we'll be sure to keep you posted on air and online over at clickorlando.com. For now, reporting in Seminole County, I'm Emily McLeod, News 6.
All right, Emily, thank you. Right now, more than 900 employees who were laid off due to the closure of a Kroger facility in Groveland are getting some help from the community. A job fair is underway in Lake County to connect workers with training and potential new employers. With the fulfillment center less than 2 months from closing, organizers of the event call this a unique and unfortunate situation with one of Lake County's largest employers suddenly leaving town. The job fair features more than 30 employers and 6 training providers.
May say, I don't want to do the same thing. I want to try something new. So we'll sit down with them, assess them, and see, hey, these are the options that we have, and we can help pay for the training for them.
On top of the dozens of employers there today, scholarships are available for Kroger employees to pursue career programs at local colleges or trade schools. The job fair runs until 6 tonight.
Well, thousands of passengers will be flying in and out of Sanford this holiday travel season. The airport's growing with hundreds of millions of dollars in development projects in the works. Your Seminole County community correspondent, Catherine Silver, is getting an inside look at one of the newest builds, part of a changing landscape at the airport.
Here and around Orlando Sanford International Airport, there are acres of land primed for development and projects in the works that make this airport not just a travel hub, but a driver of economic growth. Behind the gates at this construction site sits a project with potential.
We have 17,000 square foot of hangar space.
The first new hangar development at Sanford's airport since 2020. This is the foundation for where the actual hangar will be.
Yep.
We got a tour with the Riken construction team, who is building this facility with Airboss hangars.
That's the end game, color and all.
And it's just the beginning. You have plans for a 30,000 square foot nearby?
Yep. That's our next project, and I think we're starting to break ground in January.
The companies say there's a demand for hangar space and space to grow in Sanford. The airport itself is already growing, investing millions into runway renovation and adding parking for passengers. And there are hundreds of acres around it with development opportunities, including space for a hotel, but no plans at this time. Plans to build a $200 million connector road between the airport and the 417 were approved in October. The Central Florida Expressway Authority predicts traffic around the airport could increase up to 60% in the next 25 years, with the residential and commercial development planned. If you build it.
If you build it, they will come.
In Seminole County, Catherine Silver, News 6.
Well, soon you will have even more options for groceries.
Trader Joe's is opening not one, but two new locations in Central Florida next at 5. Why not everybody's excited for the new business, as some express traffic and safety concerns.
And then at 5:30, state legislators are discussing a potential bill that could allow tenants to dissolve their HOAs, what this could mean going forward. You're watching News 6 at 5. We'll be right back.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Launch Credit Union.
One of America's most popular grocery chains could be arriving at 2 Central Florida cities.
As News 6's Osceola County community correspondent Laverne McGee discovered, the possible locations are drawing a mix of excitement and concern.
If you've ever been to the Loop in Kissimmee, you know how busy this plaza is. From a Ross to a Michael's, Sephora, it's got something for just about everybody. But people are excited about the idea of having a Trader Joe's here.
That's it. Chocolate.
Trader Joe's has several locations in Central Florida, like this one in Winter Park. The parking is tight, but people keep coming. Not too long ago, News 6 showed you the long lines at a Trader Joe's grand opening in Melbourne. Now one could be coming to Maitland and also the Loop in Kissimmee. Mauricio Moreno has a business in the same plaza as the Winter Park location and shops there often.
So you'd like to see a location in Kissimmee?
I would love that, yes. It's going to be close to me.
So they're thinking of putting one in the Loop West. Do you know where that is?
Oh, I live around the corner there.
If you know where Bonefish Grill is along Osceola Parkway, that's going to be close to where this Trader Joe's is going to be located.
John Newstreet is the president of the Osceola County Chamber of Commerce.
I'm sure Trader Joe's has a pretty standard blueprint as to how they lay out their stores. So from what I understand, it's about 12,500 feet, which is similar to, I think, the Dr. Phillips location, but a proposed location up in Orange County that's new in the Maitland area.
That's a great area. So we can use a place like that in the Loop. We don't have markets or stuff on the Loop, so that would be a hit, I would say.
We reached out to Trader Joe's for a comment on 2 new locations in Maitland off Maitland Boulevard and Kissimmee, with the chain telling us it's looking at hundreds of neighborhoods across the country, including Kissimmee, but declined to confirm exact locations, even though building permits have already been filed. Your Osceola County community correspondent, Laverne McGee, News 6.
Well, outside it was a beautiful day, and of course that has led to a gorgeous evening. Meteorologist Jonathan Kagas details all of it for you.
Yeah, gorgeous shot outside right now, guys. We have the sunny skies. Earlier today, if you were with us, this was just under 4 o'clock. We had to bring this guy back. He has since left the port cam. He is probably looking for some dinner tonight. But a really cool shot here of a grackle that has joined us on the newscast. This was earlier again this evening. Some of the bigger seagulls flying, but he was just perched up right in front of the camera tonight. Really, really cool shot if you're with us. That's why I wanted to show it again to you right now. Again, really cool, really beautiful bird there. Boat-tailed grackle is what we looked up. If that is incorrect, please shoot me an email. But it looked like, look at him. He's awesome. Again, this was earlier tonight. Just wanted to bring that back to show you again in case you missed the newscast at 4 o'clock. And now we have another great shot here on our Light Orlando Delivering Hope Skycam. This as the sun is going down tonight. There are less clouds out there. We certainly still have some clouds. We will get dominant sunshine back by late tomorrow morning north of Orlando, and then by the afternoon for everyone. And I think we keep that by and large throughout the bulk of the weekend. You can stay up to date with the forecast by downloading the free News 6 weather app. Air temperatures right now in the mid-60s under that mainly cloudy sky. The breeze out of the west. Tomorrow that shifts, and we will see some of that cooler, drier air spill in to help get rid of the clouds that have been pretty much parking themselves right over Central Florida for the last couple of days. Daytona, we're at 62. DeLand, good evening. We were at 61 degrees. We're back to the mid-50s in Ocala. Cool start tomorrow. As the front comes through, though, we'll see an even colder morning on Friday. Waking up into the 40s in Ocala and Denellen. We're seasonably cool tomorrow. Still might want the jacket, but again, nothing out of the ordinary. Mount Dora, we're at 52. Melbourne, we're going to start things off at 54. Now here's a look at your afternoon.
Your forecast is sponsored by Payne Law.
We are going to cool things down a little bit. High temperatures tomorrow only into the mid-60s. The core of the cold, you see it right here, parts of the upper Midwest, northern plains, 11 degrees in Bismarck, North Dakota right now, 20 degrees in Minneapolis. Again, some of that cold is what's going to kind of branch off and come in this direction. The core of it, though, stays in that direction. We don't get the full brunt of it. DeLand over the next few mornings. We're talking about temperatures again tomorrow starting into the upper 40s. That's when we'll flirt with the upper 30s on Friday, and then we'll gradually warm things back up into the early to middle stages of next work week. So a short fused, certainly not as big as what we've seen so far this season, but a little chilly for us tomorrow. Then the bigger cold comes in on Friday. Highs tomorrow as we get our sunshine back and some of that drier, cooler air filters in to kind of counteract the sunshine. We're back to the mid-60s across most of Central Florida. Should be a very nice afternoon, although the breeze does come back a little bit as the front pushes its way through. There's our chilly morning Thursday night into early Friday. We're back to the low 70s, though. Look at that sunshine on Friday. Gorgeous weekend coming our way. Mid-70s on Saturday and Sunday. Next front comes through Sunday into Monday. That'll take our temperatures by Tuesday and Wednesday, guys, back to the upper 60s.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. They are devices that we use every day. We're talking about smartphones.
Yeah, and keeping kids off of them can be nearly impossible sometimes. Up next, the effort being introduced overseas to keep kids phone-free. It's already having an impact here in the U.S.
Your Wednesday evening traffic alert. Look, with all this good weather, we have a lot of construction ramping up. So just make sure you're paying attention overnight, northbound and southbound 417, but specifically up on our Seminole County area, 50-mile markers. Watch out for those lane closures overnight, each and every night, until we get some serious holidays. Down in Osceola, Florida Turnpike, southbound and northbound, out here towards 192. Then, of course, Champions Gate, also seeing those lane closures to include out by the airport as well. But this one, you got to be careful during the daytime as well. I'm Trooper Steve with the News 6 Traffic Alert. Drive safely. I'll catch you in the morning.
Parents in the UK have sparked a global movement to keep kids off smartphones, and it is spreading to dozens of countries, including here in the U.S. It's called the Parent Pact, and it already has more than 160,000 signatures.
Yeah, so the parents who signed it say they will keep smartphones away from their kids until they're at least 14 years old. CBS's Lee Canary has the story from London.
Knowing how to be with yourself.
Freedom for parents Daisy Greenwell and Joe Ryrie means looking up here instead of down on their phones.
How old were your kids when they first asked for a phone?
I guess when the kids in my daughter's class started getting phones, they were 8. She was 8.
8 years old.
Greenwell was alarmed, facing a growing body of research suggesting smartphone use damages mental health in young people. So she posted on Instagram, asking, what if we could switch the norm and unite for a smartphone-free childhood?
That post went viral and thousands of parents joined the group overnight. And within a couple of weeks, there were smartphone-free childhood groups in every county.
Join us in this global movement.
A year later, the grassroots campaign had gone global with a chapter in 39 countries.
Hey, kiddo.
Including in America, where this cautionary ad was made.
There's a box in the corner over there with all the pornographic material that's ever been made in the world. I'm trusting you not to look in there, okay?
Okay.
The group asks parents to sign a pact to delay getting your child a smartphone until at least 14 and social media until 16.
This isn't an anti-tech movement. This is a pro-childhood movement.
Many young people who grew up with that unrestricted access are now cautioning others and turning back to so-called dumb phones. Sales of phones without internet are up 150% among Gen Z.
Just makes it a lot easier for families to say, okay, we're going to just wait a few more years. We're going to get a brick phone in the meantime. It's not that hard. We can do this.
Together, getting kids offline. Lee Canary, CBS News, Suffolk, England.
Love that. Love the flip phones.
Fantastic. So here in Central Florida, there have been legislative efforts to minimize the time students are spending on smartphones during the school day. On July 1st, House Bill 1105 took effect, which says elementary and middle school students are not permitted to use phones at all during the school day. High school students may only use phones during class if a teacher explicitly allows it for educational purposes. We have much more coming up in our next half hour.
Including a debate over the location of a natural gas plant in Brevard County. Your Merritt Island community correspondent James Sparvero is taking your concerns to port leaders.
And the Fed cut rates again for the third time this year. A closer look at what this could mean for your wallet.
As we take a live look at Daytona Beach, you're watching News 6. We'll be right back. Glad you're with us. I'm Lisa Bell.
I'm Matt Austin. You're watching News 6 at 5. We're following several top stories for you right now. Governor Ron DeSantis unveiling his proposed budget for the upcoming year. Speaking in Orlando this morning, he emphasized the importance of education. His proposal would represent a record in funding for the K-12 public school system. That's $1.56 billion for teachers' pay increases and $20 million for Schools of Hope, a program allowing charter schools to move into public schools rent-free.
We are almost 1 week into the new statewide bear hunt, and one question we cannot answer is how many bears have been killed so far. That's because of changes in how kills are recorded. According to the FWC, hunters have 24 hours after their hunt to report their harvest to FWC and to arrange a time and location to meet and go over their kill. The state says it decided to conduct the hunt this way because it was more efficient.
And in Sanford, there are some major new developments to the airport. Seminole County community correspondent Catherine Silver got a tour of some of the construction. Some of the changes include the first new hangar development since 2020. There are also plans to build a $200 million connector road between the airport and the 417. Those plans were approved in October.
Tonight, some parents are shocked and frustrated after learning their children's school is one of 7 campuses Orange County is considering closing.
News 6's Angie Casada spoke with families who fear the impact of this could have on their kids.
We're just off of 436 at McCoy Elementary School. It's 1 out of 7 schools being considered to possibly close down after this school year. There's 6 elementary schools and 1 middle school. And parents tell me this morning that they had no idea their children's school was even being considered. Some of them even attended that meeting, but they're worried about where their kids will go next.
The concerns are growing outside Michael McCoy Elementary, a campus now at risk of closing as early as this summer. For many parents, the news hit hard.
It sucks because this is my kids' school, and, you know, I'm a single dad, so it's close right here, it's convenient, and they like this school.
McCoy is one of 7 schools OCPS says is operating far below capacity, part of a countywide enrollment drop of more than 5,500 students this year. Fewer students means less funding, making it harder to keep small campuses open.
I feel like it's been a great school. My daughter's been doing great. Them having to go somewhere else is hard just because we don't know how they're going to do there, how they're going to fit in.
The board also approved extending its contract with a private recruitment company to bring students back. But some parents say that money should be put towards keeping schools open.
What do you think has caused the fact that so many people have been leaving the public school system?
I feel like a lot of it is safety because we always hear about the school shootings. Parents don't want their kids to be here, so they're homeschooling. I know a lot of stuff that's been happening with ICE. Parents that are not from here are scared to send their kids to school.
Consolidating campuses could save money. Parents at McCoy say the district isn't hearing their concerns. To fight back, the PTO has created an online petition asking the board not to close the school. If approved, McCoy would close after this school year. Parents say they still need answers and time before any final decisions are made.
Now, the district will take up the full consolidation plan during a work session on December 16th. Several parents here tell me that they plan to show up and hopefully speak out. Of course, if there's any developments, we'll keep you posted on air and over on clickorlando.com. Reporting in Orange County, I'm Angie Casada, News 6.
Well, not in my backyard, or in this case, not in my port. The energy companies that want to build a liquefied natural gas facility near Port Canaveral made their case before commissioners. Your Merritt Island community correspondent James Sparvero was there. He continues his coverage by taking your concerns to the port meeting.
Gentlemen, excuse me. I'm James from Channel 6. Could I talk to you guys about the project? Outside the Port Canaveral Commission meeting, I was hoping to talk to Berkshire Hathaway and Chesapeake Utilities about their plan to build a liquefied natural gas plant near a couple hundred homes. I just had a couple questions about the presentations to address more of the community's concerns, but they weren't interested in being interviewed. The port owns the land here on the barge canal, so the companies would have to buy it if the port's willing to sell.
We're here today to discuss a very transformative opportunity for the Cape Canaveral region.
Representatives told commissioners they want to open the LNG plant for space and cruise customers by 2029. Vince Cipineri would live less than a mile away.
If it blows up, I have no idea what's going to happen to us.
They say their plant will be safe.
LNG fundamentally is a much safer and cleaner fuel
than any of the traditional fuels that people may be thinking of. It'll be a net benefit for the community.
After the meeting, Port Canaveral CEO Captain John Murray told me neighbors aren't the only ones concerned about safety. Do you share some of the same concerns that the community has? Neighbors I've spoken to, one of which came here today and talked.
I'm in the blast zone. We wouldn't even get out.
Absolutely. I just spent some time with the neighbors, and any type of a project like this has a huge impact on people in our community, and it's important that everybody have their say.
After it reviews the proposal, the next update from the port on whether it might sell this land or not will come up at the commission meeting in January. Our coverage continues then. In Brevard County, I'm your Merritt Island community correspondent, James Sparvero, News 6.
To Daytona Beach now, where the mayor is weighing in after state lawmakers voted to audit the city over reports about spending irregularities. Mayor Derek Henry responded on social media this week saying, quote, "As mayor, I welcome the operational audit approved by Florida's Auditor General. We're confident in our financial management and view this as an opportunity to demonstrate transparency and accountability." The state's Joint Legislative Auditing Committee voted unanimously Monday to review the city's finances. State Senator Tom Wright, who requested the audit, says there were some discrepancies with the usage of purchasing cars, or P cards there. He says a Daytona Beach commissioner claims city employees and contractors have used those cards to spend thousands on travel and food and at stores. Mayor Henry says the city will fully cooperate with that audit process.
Today, the Federal Reserve announced it will cut its key interest rate by 1/4 percentage point, but signaled a tougher road ahead for further cuts. I spoke with CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger earlier today about what today's cut means for borrowers and savers.
When you hear cut, you think great for borrowers, right? But I have to be clear that interest rates on things like credit card balances and auto loans, they're still quite steep. So even a 1/4 percentage point cut is welcome, but it's not going to dig you out of a big mound of debt, right? So I think we should just be clear about that. The Fed doesn't control or directly control home loan rates, but those rates have come down this year. Mortgage rates for 30-year loans down around 6.19%, the lowest level this year. Now, the news is not great for savers, of course. They're going to earn less interest on everything from a high-yield savings account to a money market to a certificate of deposit.
Looking ahead to next year, do you think, if you could read the tea leaves, do you think interest rates will continue to fall?
Well, the good news is, Lisa, is I've consulted my magic 8-ball, so I have the answer, obviously. Most economists are actually penciling, okay, guys, 1/2 percentage point of rate cuts next year. But look, this is totally dependent on what happens in the economy. Right now, the labor market has slowed down a bit. And if that continues, if we start to see the labor market deteriorate, then the Fed's going to be more aggressive and cut rates. But if we start to see price increases from tariffs feed through to the economy, the Fed's not going to feel comfortable by cutting interest rates.
Now, the stock market surged after the news today. Taking a look at how the numbers ended on Wall Street today, the Dow was up about 500 points at this afternoon's closing. The S&P 500 and the NASDAQ also up today.
Right now in Tallahassee, there's a legislative push for HOA reform, giving tenants the power to dissolve their contracts. Under the new House Bill 657, a homeowner who wants to terminate their HOA must provide the board a petition with signatures from at least 20% of the HOA's voting members. The board must then hold a meeting within 60 days and have a 2/3 vote. If the vote fails, neighbors would then have an opportunity to file again in 18 months. The bill would also include new reforms for the court mediation process. If passed and signed by the governor, it would take effect next July. Now, there are a lot of moving pieces to this legislation. For more on what to expect from House Bill 657 and how it could impact you, visit this article on the story at clickorlando.com.
During this holiday season, you can give the gift of a forever home for a shelter dog.
Tonight, Trooper Steve is highlighting a special pup. He has tons of energy and is available right now. So let's head to Orange County Animal Services.
So I'm looking at him, I'm thinking he needs some space. Yes. He definitely needs space, and an owner that wants to dedicate some time.
Yes. He's going to need an owner that's actually going to want to go outside with him. He's going to want to toss the ball. He's going to want to take him on long walks. Because I tell you what, I've taken him around the pond a couple of times, and even after that, he still has energy. He wants to play. He still wants to, but he is a big mush. When we put him in the office, he's a sofa dog.
So he's an environment behavior type of dog.
Yes.
So if you got him in a chill environment, he's going to be a little chill.
I think so. I think once he gets into a home, he feels comfortable. He knows the walks are coming. He knows the treats are coming. I think he's going to look at it. I told you.
You are a lover.
Trooper Steve says he likes to call the pup Po' Boy because he's kind of shaped like a sandwich. He's 2 to 3 years old. Not great with other dogs, so keep that in mind. And if you're looking to adopt now through the 14th, the adoption fees and the new parent kits are covered. If you want to bring Po Dog home, just head over to Orange County Animal Services. He is a cutie.
And you can hit the road with Trooper Steve on patrol weekday mornings at 10, live on the new 6 Plus streaming app for your smart TV or clickorlando.com.
Well, as holiday season gets into full swing, millions of Americans will be traveling.
Orlando, once again, is a popular destination. Up next, what you need to know before you hit the road as experts make their predictions for what should be another record-setting season.
New cold front on the way. It's working its way through parts of the southeast corner of the U.S. It arrives overnight. That means a cooler day tomorrow. We're going to have that part of your forecast. And take a look into your weekend at about 5:47.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Shark Coatings.
If you have a holiday trip coming up, get ready for some company. AAA says this year's numbers will likely set records.
News 6's Stephanie Rodriguez has what you should know as you start making plans to visit loved ones.
We're no strangers to busy roads here in Central Florida, but the next few weeks are going to be extra crowded as holiday travel begins. AAA is predicting 122.4 million Americans will travel at least 50 miles from home between December 20th and January 1st. That's up 2.2% from last year's record number. That includes an estimated 7.5 million Floridians who will be traveling for the holidays. The big majority will be traveling by car, with close to 200,000 more road trips this year than last year. And Orlando's roads could be especially crowded. According to AAA, the city is once again the top destination in the United States. AAA does have some tips for you if you're one of the millions planning to travel. Number one, plan ahead. Book your plane ticket, hotel room, and rental car as early as possible. Give yourself some extra time to reach your destination in case of delays, and try to consider potentially using travel insurance if you do plan to fly during winter weather. And when you're planning, prepare to see some higher prices. AAA data shows that domestic flights are up 7% compared to last year, and hotel stays are also costing Americans more this year. They're up 13%. But there is some relief if you're going to be hitting the roads. Gas prices are lower this year compared to last year. Reporting in Orlando, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
All right. And of course, the theme park's one reason why people love to come here. But that's another reason, the weather. Yes.
I think it's looking a little warmer this year as we get into Christmas. I think that's kind of the outlook for the long range here as we're looking at some of the things deep down the line as we get into Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. Might be on the warmer side of things. Certainly cool right now. We're at 64 in Oviedo. Mount Dora, we are at 58. Ocala, we're checking in at 54 degrees. We had the extra clouds northwest of I-4 today that kept us on the cooler side. Meanwhile, we're at 77 in Titusville. We had more breaks closer to the Space Coast. That allowed us to get on the warmer side. You can see that right here. Of course, you can always keep up to date with the forecast by downloading the free News 6 weather app. You see that break in the cloud cover. We're looking at the white color on your screen. That's the thick overcast. We had that pretty much all afternoon in Ocala, down into parts of Lake County, Sumter County as well, really northwest of I-4. That held our temperatures down. We have a few clouds out there now in this shot. Here's a live look downtown Orlando with our Light Orlando delivering Hope Skycam. The airport is reporting a mainly cloudy sky right now. We're back to the mid-60s with a breeze out of the west at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Cool tomorrow, but seasonably cool. We do have a front on the way, but the bigger chill arrives by the time you wake up on Friday morning. Tomorrow, though, jacket-worthy for sure. 47 in Ocala. We're at 48 in Denellen. Kissimmee and Aholapa, we're back to the low to mid-50s. Now here's a look at your forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by Advent Health.
So here is the timeline of that front for tomorrow. This is late tonight. You see it crossing the parts of the Big Bend, getting into the Florida Panhandle, and there it goes. You see the white on your screen. That represents the cloud cover. This time around, we get a nice clean sweep. So those stubborn clouds that have been around for the better part of the last 3-4 days, those are going with it. So 11 o'clock tomorrow, I think south of Orlando still may have some clouds around. North of Orlando, Marion, Lake County, getting into Flagler, into Sumter. We are going to see sunshine break free and then stay dominant. You see by the time we get into the afternoon, we're looking good as well. Fast forwarding into Friday, high pressure pretty much plopping itself right on top of us. That will give us a nice cool morning. Then we have that chunk of high pressure sliding out over the Atlantic with that clockwise flow around that area of high pressure. That's going to help to pump our winds out of the south and bring us some warmer air for the weekend. 65 in Mount Dora tomorrow, so there's our cool afternoon, running about 10 degrees, give or take, below where we should be. Holapa, we're at 68. Palm Bay, good evening. Tomorrow afternoon, we are hanging around 70 degrees. This is where we'll be on Friday morning, though, as we settle things down behind the front. We're back to the upper 30s in Ocala, low to mid 40s across the I-4 corridor, low 50s across the Space Coast. Over the next 3 days, again, just a mini roller coaster ride. Nothing too crazy, but it will be on the colder side when you wake up on Friday. We do start to rebound nicely, though. Look at all the sunshine. It's been a minute since we've had sun at least dominant from start to finish. We're at 71 on Friday, 75 degrees on Saturday, back to the mid-70s on Sunday. Another cold front arrives early next work week. That'll take our high temperatures back down into the upper 60s.
Jonathan, thank you. Television ads for the lieutenant governor, even though he is not running for office.
It's a mystery that has many people asking us what's going on here. Up next, Justin Warmoth looking into why, and more importantly, who's paying for them.
And coming up on News 6 at 6, the death report from Universal. What was changed after a man died after riding a coaster at Epic Universe?
Coming up in the morning, one local city considering some of the strictest rules when it comes to e-bikes.
Why it could mean some people won't be able to ride them at all.
Plus, what you need to know about holiday returns so you avoid losing money.
We'll see you for News 6 Mornings starting at 6.
And here's a live look at beautiful downtown Orlando. You're watching News 6 at 5. We'll be right back.
One major issue the Florida House will take up during the 2026 legislative session, property taxes. Lawmakers will discuss a proposed constitutional amendment that would increase the homestead property tax exemption for residents who have property insurance. Currently, homeowners can qualify for homestead tax exemptions from local government and school district taxes on the first $25,000 of the assessed value of their property. The state estimating the proposal would cut local government revenue by $8.6 billion every year. The House sponsor says local governments need to prioritize how they are spending taxpayer money.
The NASA Deep Space Probe Voyager 1 could soon become the first spacecraft to reach a historic milestone. In November of 2026, it's expected to reach 1 light day from Earth. Now, a light day would be the distance it would take, 24 hours, for a signal traveling the speed of light to reach Voyager from Earth. If a command were sent to Voyager on Monday, the response from the spacecraft wouldn't arrive back on Earth until Wednesday. A light day, by the way, equals 16 billion miles. Well, you've probably seen them now for weeks. A series of ads have been running talking about what Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins has done for Florida. They look like campaign ads, but there's just one thing. Collins isn't officially running for anything, including governor. The ads aren't from Collins. News 6 anchor Justin Warmoth is digging in tonight to find out who's putting up the cash for these commercials.
Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins is standing with Governor DeSantis.
The 30-second ads have been everywhere, touting the accomplishments of Florida's newly appointed lieutenant governor.
Jay Collins stands strong for conservative values.
But Collins, who hasn't announced if he'll run for governor, isn't paying for the ads. Neither is any political group associated with him. Instead, Florida Fighters has paid more than $2.25 million to run the ads in Orlando, Tampa, and Palm Beach. So who is Florida Fighters? Well, for that answer, you need to leave the Sunshine State for the first state, Delaware. Turns out Florida Fighters is a 501c4 registered in early November in Delaware. 501c4s are considered social welfare organizations.
This is essentially a shell corporation that is putting this message out there, wants people to know about Jay Collins.
As UCF political science professor John Hanley notes, 501c4s are not required to publicly disclose the names or addresses of their donors, meaning we may never know who paid for these ads.
Florida Fighters is an anonymous tagline that provides the smallest amount of information about who this group is.
The Delaware LLC doesn't provide an address, but there is a phone number on the ad. The number leads to a voicemail for the office of the lieutenant governor. And while the ad with the number is empty when it comes to donor disclosure, the voicemail box for the number, as we found out, is full. Justin Wormuth, News 6.
Ginger Gadsden is in the newsroom with what we're working on for News 6 at 6.
The statewide bear hunt has been underway for 5 days now, but there has been no word on how many bears, if any, have been killed. We're looking into what's behind the delay. And incredible video of a plane clipping a car on the interstate in Brevard County this week. We're speaking with neighbors who saw this scary moment unfold on I-95 and rushed in to help. A live look now at downtown Orlando. This is from our Light Orlando Delivering Hope camera. Beautiful out there tonight. You're watching News 6. We'll be right back.
On News 6 at 6, incredible video of a small plane slamming into a car on a busy interstate. We spoke to the people who jumped in to help after the crash. Neighbors split over the bear hunt and the lack of data coming from the state. Plus, with holiday travel right around the corner, we're taking a look at the changes coming to Orlando Sanford Airport. And
I'm News 6 investigator Mike DeForest. I've discovered Universal Orlando altered a report it sent to the state of Florida about a man who died after riding a roller coaster here.
News 6 at 6 starts now.
And authorities still have not explained how Kevin Rodriguez Zavala died after riding that roller coaster at Epic Universe, or whether his disability contributed to his death.
So new records obtained exclusively by News 6 investigator Mike DeForest show Universal originally associated the man's death with, quote, pre-existing conditions. But the company quietly removed that wording from a report it sent to the state.
I've discovered Universal Orlando sent the state of Florida 2 different reports about a man who died after riding a roller coaster here. The first report associated his death with pre-existing conditions. But the very next day, I discovered Universal sent the state an altered report.
It was called in as a head laceration, heavy bleeding.
Paramedics found Kevin Rodriguez Zavala unresponsive on the Stardust Racers roller coaster in September. The 32-year-old, who was born with spinal atrophy and used a wheelchair, later died. Authorities have not yet disclosed how Rodriguez Zavala sustained multiple blunt impact injuries or whether his disability played a role in his death. Large theme parks like Universal and Disney must report ride-related deaths and serious injuries to the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. Back in October, a Universal Orlando employee emailed this spreadsheet to the state. It documented 7 incidents at the company's theme parks, including one on September 17th involving the Stardust Racers roller coaster. Universal Orlando described the incident as a fatality, pre-existing conditions. This is noteworthy because it's the very first time Universal has publicly associated Rodriguez Zavala's death with his pre-existing medical conditions. But about 27 hours later, I've learned Universal Orlando backed off that statement and sent the state a revised document. That spreadsheet was nearly identical to the first one, except the term pre-existing conditions had been removed. News 6 has learned Universal made that change after having a discussion with the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. An agency spokesperson tells me, quote, "We inquired with Universal about the inclusion of pre-existing conditions, and they determined to submit an updated report."
He did absolutely nothing wrong.
Benjamin Crump, an attorney who represents Rodriguez Zavala's family, denies the 32-year-old ignored the roller coaster's warning signs. Yes or no, did Mr. Rodriguez Zavala have, quote, back, neck, or similar physical conditions?
What you mean? He was fine. He was disabled.
That's what the ride sign says.
No.
Universal Orlando representatives here have not responded to my questions asking why it altered its original report to the state. The company would also not tell me whether it believes pre-existing conditions contributed to Rodriguez Zavala's death. Mike DeForest, News 6.
Well, tonight we're working to get numbers on how many bears have been hunted in the state.
It is now day 5 of the controversial bear hunt, and we've told you before activists have been pushing back against the first one in a decade. Now, the hunt back in 2015 had to be stopped just 48 hours after it began because too many bears were killed. Now, we are trying to work with Florida Fish and Wildlife to get the numbers with part of what happened here in Central Florida. News 6's Emily McLeod tells us what we know and how people are responding since the bear.
After the first weekend of Florida's bear hunt, News 6 reached out to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission to try and find out how many bears have been harvested, if any. FWC told us to submit a records request, which we did, but we've also learned that this year's hunt is running a little bit more differently than 2015's. So we came out to the Seminole Wekiva Trail to talk to people about how they feel about the bear hunt now that it is officially underway.
They're not bothering anybody. And I think this whole thing is just wrong.
The bear hunt is horrible. They should not do it.
Florida's bear hunt is underway, and people like Ramona Jones and Debbie Stevens feel it's wrong. 5 days into the contentious hunt, and the state has not released any information on how many bears have been harvested so far.
They should release them every day and tell us what is going on, how many bears have been killed and where, and all of that. They should release the information.
While Debbie Stevens would like to see the numbers, Jones says she doesn't even want to know.
To be honest, I really don't want to know. I honestly don't want to know because it's just going to upset me. And that's the way I feel about it.
The last time Florida had a bear hunt in 2015, thousands of permits were issued and the hunt ended in just 48 hours after 300 bears were killed. In 2025, 172 permits were given out and only one bear is allowed per permit.
I thought for sure that we would have already heard that it was over because they get them so quickly. I mean, there's a lot of bears around. And
also in 2015, hunters needed to bring their takings to public FWC check-in stations to be registered and weighed. This year, hunters have 24 hours after their hunt to report their harvest to FWC and to arrange a time and location to meet and go over their kill. According to FWC's website, the state decided to conduct the hunt this way because it was more efficient.
once they get the numbers in, then hopefully we won't kill more bears than we realize that we were after, or they were after, not us.
The state says they released a smaller number of permits this year so hunters can take their time and be more selective so the hunt can last longer. Now, we also requested a statement from FWC about why they're not releasing more real-time information on those numbers and what the current state of the bear hunt is. As soon as we get those details, we'll be sure to bring them to you on air and online at clickorlando.com. For now, reporting in Seminole County, I'm Emily McLeod, News 6.
Developing tonight, a trial date has been set for the man accused of a mass shooting at a Halloween block party in downtown Orlando. The trial for Jalen Edgar is set to start with jury selection next month, January 8th. That's more than a year after the 2024 shooting on Orange Avenue. Edgar, who was 17 at the time, is accused of killing Timothy Schmidt Jr. and Tyreek Hill. Several others were injured. He faces murder and attempted murder charges.
Well, thousands of passengers will be flying in and out of Sanford this holiday travel season, an airport that is growing with hundreds of millions of dollars in projects in the works right now. Your Seminole County community correspondent Catherine Silver is getting an inside look at one of the newest builds, part of a changing landscape at the airport.
Here and around Orlando Sanford International Airport, there are acres of land primed for development and projects in the works that make this airport not just a travel hub, but a driver of economic growth. Behind the gates at this construction site sits a project with potential.
We have 17,000 square foot of hangar space.
The first new hangar development at Sanford's airport since 2020. This is the foundation for where the actual hangar will be.
Yep.
We got a tour with the Riken construction team, who is building this facility with Airboss hangars.
That's the end game, color and all.
And it's just the beginning. You have plans for a 30,000 square foot nearby?
Yep. That's our next project, and I think we're starting to break ground in January.
The companies say there's a demand for hangar space and space to grow in Sanford. The airport itself is already growing, investing millions into runway renovation and adding parking for passengers. And there are hundreds of acres around it with development opportunities, including space for a hotel, but no plans at this time. Plans to build a $200 million connector road between the airport and the 417 were approved in October. The Central Florida Expressway Authority predicts traffic around the airport could increase up to 60% in the next 25 years with the residential and commercial development planned. If you build it,
they will come.
In Seminole County, Catherine Silver, News 6.
Now to outrage in a Central Florida community. A man accused of a violent crime is let out of jail.
Neighbors in College Park say they are fearful that man may attack again. News 6's Orange County community correspondent Troy Campbell is live in College Park tonight. And Troy, there are serious questions tonight about the outcome of this case.
Well, Ginger and Matt, I'll tell you, right now we are on that block where that attack happened in April. We came out here, we spoke with people. We spoke with a lot of residents who are very concerned, even some telling us that they've seen 26-year-old Tyler Fight walking in this area in recent days. Take a listen.
When's the most recent time you've seen him?
Well, just a couple of days ago. Three days or 3 or 4 days here, there.
He walked this way, and I was walked that way. I want to go to that park.
Now, 26-year-old Tyler Fight, he was arrested back in April after Orlando police say he attempted to sexually assault a jogger along the 1800 block of Northumberland Avenue in College Park. Now, thankfully, detectives say the victim in that case was able to fight him off. Now, he was arrested later that day after being spotted walking the area. Court records show in 2024, he was also arrested for grabbing a woman inside of a Hobby Lobby. Now, according to the state attorney's office, Fight was sentenced to 225 days. He has already served in jail and then 3 years probation. Now, in a response, the office released a statement saying in part, the decision to withhold adjudication was an oversight by the prosecutor. The prosecutor's immediate supervisors have been notified and will review the matter and take appropriate personnel action. Now, we spoke with a legal expert about how this sentence may have been handed down.
It's not completely unusual for these types of cases. Withholding of adjudication means that he's not labeled, he's not convicted of these crimes.
And now, again, it is unclear how long the review process may take with the state attorney's office. So in the meantime, people here in College Park say they are going to continue to be alert and watch out for their safety. Live in College Park tonight, Troy Campbell, News 6. Back to you.
Troy, thank you. A member of the Philadelphia youth football team from Philly is facing theft charges here in Florida.
Coming up, what deputies say he stole and the warning from a local sheriff as holiday shopping is underway. Plus,
we immediately jumped out and ran over to see who needed help.
pretty incredible. We're hearing from the Good Samaritan who jumped into action after a plane clipped a car on I-95.
New cold front on the way. See the cooler air hanging up toward Atlanta into Nashville. That arrives during the day tomorrow. We'll talk about how chilly we get heading into your weekend, coming up at about 6:17.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Advent Health.
Well, it was like a scene right out of a movie. That's how one person says it was like as a plane having engine trouble clipped a car on I-95 in Brevard County.
This crash causing backups for hours on Monday. News 6's Jana Manohalal spoke to witnesses who ran toward the wreckage to help.
Yeah, that crash happening just on the I-95, but the witnesses tell me they can only use one word to describe this, and it's a miracle. This is the moment a twin-engine plane, losing power over Brevard County, slams into a Toyota Camry during Monday's evening rush hour on I-95.
A plane just crashed onto a car on a highway.
Driving the opposite direction with their daughter, Bernard and Annie Wigley saw it all unfold.
It was just beginning to get dark, so the lights were obvious, but I saw the lights coming from the east.
So I knew, because of how low, no one would fly a plane over an interstate that low.
Their daughter eventually managed to pull over, stopping directly across from the wreckage.
We immediately jumped out and ran over to see who needed help.
You can see Annie, who was a nurse, climbing across I-95 to help.
I was just thinking, my mind was going so fast, but I knew I had to get there. Every minute counts when people are injured.
The 57-year-old woman inside the car was dazed.
Just know God is good, okay? You okay?
She was definitely a little dazed because she, even though the plane was right in front of her, she never knew that plane was what hit her.
Despite the impact of the crash, the driver and both pilots escaped with only minor injuries.
It seemed almost like a movie when you see a tragedy on the highways and interstate, and it's about 15 car collisions and fire over the place. That could have easily happened because it happened so quickly, and it was out of control.
Federal investigators are now reviewing the crash data to figure out exactly why this plane lost power. In Brevard County, Jana Manohalal, News 6.
I mean, when you see it come down, you can understand why that woman is so confused, because it's from behind, and then by the time you look behind you, the thing that hit you is in front of you.
No view of what she just heard. A huge crash, and thank goodness it landed on the back of that car.
Literally
not
fell
the front.
from the sky.
Wow. Well, you may have seen this on your social media feed. 8 teens from Philadelphia arrested this week in Polk County. They're accused of stealing more than $2,000 from a Dick's Sporting Goods in Davenport. This is surveillance video of the teens in the store. Deputies say they put merchandise in a bag and just walked out. The Polk County Sheriff's Office says with the holidays here, there won't be any tolerance for retail theft.
At the end of the day, the message is clear, not just in this Christmas season, but anytime. All of these stores have cameras, and we have relationships with all of these stores. If you come here to Polk County and steal, there's no notices to appear, there's no warnings. You're in handcuffs and taken to the county jail or taken to juvenile lockup, period.
Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd says the group was in Florida during a football tournament. The teens were charged with felony retail theft and will have to come back to face these charges.
Temperatures tonight are going to be on the cool side, but certainly not as chilly as what we'll wake up to on Friday morning. Here's a live look outside in downtown Orlando with our Light Orlando delivering Hope Skycam. Air temperatures back to the low 60s. Under a clear sky now at the airport. There are still a few clouds out there. Otherwise, we will watch these clouds gradually get on out of here, certainly as we watch a big chunk of drier air start to push in as we get into tomorrow. The breeze is still evident out there, not as gusty as what it's been over the past couple of nights, but you see it right there at about 16 miles per hour New Smyrna Beach, 14 miles per hour at the Orlando International Airport. Still a touch breezy in Leesburg and Wildwood as well. Temperatures back off toward the north and west. This is where the cooler air is coming in from. We're back to the upper 40s in Nashville, 46 in Charlotte. That's where the front is right now, at least the cooler air associated with it. And that is what is going to work its way down into Central Florida. The leading edge now south of Atlanta. You notice that white strip there, right south of Atlanta. I think clouds gradually go back on the increase for a little bit tomorrow morning as the front itself comes through. And then we will get that nice clean sweep. Clouds and rain forecast again for the rest of tonight. We're going to be watching just a few passing clouds. Otherwise, we will watch the drier air start to pour back in as we get in here for Thursday afternoon into Friday. We're at 50 degrees in the Villages tomorrow morning, 47 in Ocala, Denellen. We're going to wake up to air temperatures into the upper 40s. We're in the mid to upper 50s along the Space Coast again tomorrow morning. Cooler morning comes our way on Friday as that cooler air really arrives by tomorrow afternoon. That'll shave off about 10 degrees from where we should be this time of the year. That'll put us into the mid 60s tomorrow as sunshine will go on the increase starting late in the morning and especially into the afternoon for everybody. We're going to clear our skies from north to south as that drier air punches in. There's the chilly morning, though. 40s for most of us on Friday morning. We're back into the lower 70s. Friday afternoon with dominant sunshine. Great looking weekend coming our way. Low to mid 70s for high temperatures both Saturday and Sunday. Another cold front arrives on Monday that'll take our highs back into the mid to upper 60s and give us a little more cloud cover by Tuesday and Wednesday.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Jonathan. Sports director Jamie Say is here now.
All right, Jamie, Central Florida could be home of some champions soon.
Yes, I think it's going to be two. Okay.
Okay.
I do. Yeah.
Good call.
Two high school football teams. Two of our high school football teams go for state titles this weekend. We checked in with Jones today, and a group from Rollins College could capture a national championship in just a couple of days too. That's all coming up. But as we go to break, big news in college football. Michigan fires head coach Sherrone Moore today. The school says he had an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. Moore coached Michigan for 2 seasons. Welcome back. News 6 Sports is going on a road trip to Miami this weekend. We are following the Lake Mary and Jones high school football teams as they play for state titles Saturday at FIU. News 6 checked in with Jones this afternoon. The Tigers are getting ready for a rematch. They're in the Class 4A state championship for the second year in a row. And once again, they face American Heritage for the title. American Heritage won it all last year. This time, the Tigers hope to flip the script and win the first football state championship in the 100-plus year history of the school.
Ever since I lost that game last year, this game's really been marked on my calendar all year long. That I wanted them to win their game last week so I could get my get back on them, and just take care of business.
We got a strong culture. These kids, right from the moment that last year's game ended, they've had a sour taste in their mouth, and they've worked extremely hard for over a year now to get back to this moment.
Last year, we came short, and this year, I feel like we can do it for the community, and also Coach Will give him his first state title.
Best of luck to the Tigers. Jones and American Heritage kick off Saturday at 12:30 in the 4A final. Lake Mary takes on Vero Beach that night at 7:30 in the 7A final. News 6 will be there in Miami covering both. The Orlando Magic won themselves a road trip to Las Vegas this weekend. They punched their ticket to the NBA Cup semifinals after fighting back against the Miami Heat last night in the quarterfinals. The Magic erased a 15-0 early deficit at the Kia Center and beat the Heat 117-108. Desmond Bane was hitting jackpots all game. He finished with 37 points on 6 threes. So now the Magic will play the Knicks Saturday, 5:30 Eastern Time in Vegas in the Cup semifinals. Central Florida may become the home of several champions. Rollins College could be playing for a natty in a matter of days in men's soccer. The Tars are back on the big stage, playing in the Division II National Semifinals Friday night in Colorado. If they beat undefeated Fort Hays State from Kansas, they'll play for the national championship on Sunday. This is Rollins' first trip to the Final Four in 15 years. And this group, led by legendary coach Keith Buckley, could be the Tars team that captures the first national title in program history.
It's a fantastic opportunity for the players, a real response to how we've done through the season. We've had a couple of ups and downs, but the last 3 or 4 weeks has been excellent.
To be able to play when no one else is playing, last team in the conference, arguably the best conference in the nation, means a lot, and I think it's a testament to all of our hard work.
All right, best of luck to the Tars. Meantime, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers host the Atlanta Falcons tomorrow night on Thursday Night Football. Their future Hall of Fame receiver could be back for this game. The Bucs activated Mike Evans off injured reserve today. He's recovered from a broken collarbone. Evans is still listed as questionable for tomorrow. Bucs are also reactivated receiver Jalen McMillan. Tampa needs those guys. Bucs need a win, having lost 4 of their last 5 games. Buccaneers right now clinging to first place in the NFC South, so they got to beat the Falcons at home tomorrow night on Thursday Night Football.
That seems like an easy task.
It should be. No, the Bucs are going to be the favorite.
They should.
And it's a division game.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's do it.
They
They're
get
home.
Evans back? Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
More news coming up at 9 o'clock on clickorlando.com and the News 6 Plus streaming app.
Until then, have a great night, everybody. Bye.